How's it going, guys? Today is going to be the first video of many of a new series that I'm starting on this channel. And that, of course, is Wrestling Hot Takes, where I ask you guys on TikTok and YouTube to send me your spiciest wrestling hot takes and I react to them. So in today, I have about 9 or 10 hot takes that we're going to react to. And before we get into that, if you guys like WWE and wrestling content, consider subscribing to this channel as I'm on my way to 100 subscribers and I'm always posting daily wrestling content. And now that that's out of the way, let's listen to y'all's hot takes. The first hot take is coming from Jackson Miller 23, and he says the Pete Dunne and Sheamus rivalry is more entertaining than the CM Punk and Drew McIntyre feud. And to this, I have to say, you must not be watching the same TV show that I'm watching, because Sheamus and Pete Dunne, yes, it has been surprisingly good, but when we come to talk about Drew McIntyre and CM Punk, there's no title on the line in this feud, but yet it feels more important than a title feud, and that's because of the bad blood between the two. Anytime that Drew McIntyre is out there, anytime that CM Punk is out there, anytime that Seth Rollins is in the mix, you're on the edge of your chair waiting to see what's going to happen next, and you know it, and I know it too. Now, can Pete Dunne and Sheamus put on a better in-ring quality match? Probably, but it is nowhere compared to the Drew McIntyre and CM Punk feud. The next hot take is coming in from Samuel Wilson 1511, and he says Bray Wyatt should have been the one to break the streak and or retired Undertaker at WrestleMania. And to this, I have to say, man, I think everybody that's watching this video, any wrestling fan, we can all agree that it should not have been Brock Lesnar, but that isn't to say that it should have been Bray Wyatt. And I'm not saying that Bray Wyatt shouldn't have been the one to end the streak, because I think he would have been a great option, but we unfortunately didn't get to see how the rest of his career panned out, so we don't know how something like that could have affected him. But yeah, man, like I said, we can all agree it should not have been Brock Lesnar. He had no business winning that match. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's over. What can we do about it now? This next one is coming in from Anthony Evans, and Anthony says Santino Marella is the most underrated wrestler of all time, or one of the most underrated wrestlers of all time. And to that, I have to say, you're not wrong, but you're definitely not right. Because when it comes to talent, we have so many underrated superstars in the WWE over all of its history, and Santino Marella is definitely one that I would consider underrated, just because of the reaction that he got out of superstars in the rings and the fans in the stands. But when you want to talk about most underrated of all time, we have to go to a guy like The Miz or Dolph Ziggler, because at the end of the day, those two names that I got don't get very much respect when you want to talk about the greats of all time. And to be quite frank, they are some of the greats of all time, you know. And nothing against Santino, I just don't think that he is on that caliber of superstar. This next one is coming in from The GOAT. And The GOAT says, if booked right, Shayna Baszler could have been better than Rhea Ripley. And to this, I have to say, no, you are wrong, The GOAT. I don't know who proclaimed you The GOAT, because your opinions are not The GOAT. And Shayna Baszler, even if she was booked properly, even if she was given the best booking of all time, she just could not have. I don't think she was capable of getting this over as Rhea Ripley has, and that's just because of how new something like Rhea Ripley is. We have never seen a female superstar like Rhea Ripley, and she has this level of connections with her fans that I don't think any other female superstar in the back could have done. And that's nothing against Shayna. I think Shayna could have been amazing, and I actually think Shayna has been amazing. But at the end of the day, she's not Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley's one of a kind. That's just my opinion, though. I know a lot of people are high on Shayna Baszler. This next one is coming in from Kenya Morena, and Kenya says, it's kind of stupid that people didn't like Roman because he was getting help to win, and then Cody gets the same exact help and nobody cares. Well, Kenya, you must not be on Twitter, Reddit, Instagram, because a lot of people are complaining about the Cody Rhodes title run right now, and a lot of people are calling it boring, stale, overrated. But when it comes down to it, yes, you're right. You know, both of them are getting the help from other superstars to win. But when you're in the main event scene, man, everybody does it. You can look back to Cena. You can look back to all these guys. All of them were getting help. It's just at the end of the day what the WWE does to build their talent. And when it comes to people saying that Cody's title run is boring, I just completely disagree, man. It's only been a certain number of months since then. We gave Roman 4 years to build up his title reign, and that's why it was so great. We need to just calm down and let Cody and let Triple H book, because we know that this title run is going to be amazing once guys like The Rock, once guys like Roman, once guys like Randy are challenging him for the belt. To move on from that, we have one from LukasAGS, and he says that Chad Gable should eventually be the one to end Gunther's title reign. And also shout out Lucas, man, we're planning on making content on Sunday, so that Sunday content should probably come out on Monday. You guys should also go check out his YouTube channel, because He makes really good content. I'll put his link down in the description. And to that, I have to say, I'm not against it, because me and you both know, Lucas, Gunther is holding that title for a year or so, maybe 2 years. And so Chad Gable will be so built up and so ready to take on a talent like Gunther by the time that he's ready to drop that belt. But I do have to say that Chad Gable needs to get something before then. He needs to win the IC title. He needs to win a US title, whether what brand they want to keep him on. He needs to win a singles title before going after that World Heavyweight Championship, because that's just too big of a gap to take. But yeah, man, I completely agree with you. Chad Gable should be the one to end Gunther's reign, if it's not a guy like Drew McIntyre or Jey Uso, because those are other two options that I have. This next one is from Rambo Kid, and Rambo Kid says, Dominic Mysterio is severely underrated with what he has done with his character and his organic heel heat. And to that, I have to agree with you, man. Dominic Mysterio clawed his way out of the shadow of a Hall of Fame talent like Rey Mysterio. Because we've seen nepotism hires in the WWE, and a lot of them don't pan out. But Dominic Mysterio was actually headed towards that path. If Dominic would have kept being a babyface and kept being Rey's son, he unfortunately probably wouldn't be in the WWE anymore. If he wouldn't have turned and gone to the Judgment Day, we probably wouldn't have Dominic Mysterio in wrestling any longer. But since he's been able to make this drastic and dramatic change, he is one of the best heels in the entire company and one of my personal favorite wrestlers. And when it comes to Dominic's future, they are going to have to put some sort of championship on him in the next year or two, because he is putting in incredible work. I think last year he was the second highest wrestler with the most matches. And whenever you're the second and most matches wrestled, you need to be rewarded as such, whether it's a tag title, whether it's a singles title. They just need to put gold on Dominic Mysterio. This next one is coming in from Adrian Encarnacion, and he says that Drew deserves to have the World Heavyweight title. He's been putting in the work since 2020. And to this man, I have to say, as of right now, I disagree that he should immediately win it, and that's because him and CM Punk and Seth Rollins are currently in a feud that is so good it doesn't need a title, and that's what the WWE wants. They want these feuds that don't have a title connected to it, because they need so many feuds going at some time. But 100% after the CM Punk feud, if he wants to rekindle his a match with Gunther at WrestleMania or at Royal Rumble, wherever you want to do it, I 100% agree, man. They could put this title on Drew and nobody would question it, because we know how Drew is on the mic. We definitely know how Drew is in the ring, and you're right, he's been putting in a ton of good work, so it might be time to reward him. And the last one for today's video is coming in from Nate Smythe, and he says that Baron Corbin is one of the best wrestlers of this past decade. Any gimmick, no bad matches, and makes the best out of every situation. And to this, you're kind of right, and then you lose me for a little bit, and then you're kind of right again. Because when it comes to no bad gimmicks, he's had bad gimmicks, you know. We've seen him go out there with some unfortunate things that he's had to do. But you're right, he made the best out of every situation, and he worked past that. And I have to say, I commend the hell out of him for that. And when it comes to him being one of the best wrestlers of this past decade, I am kind of in the middle of that, because yes, he's amazing in the ring. We know what he can do with some of his character work. I just think he's going to need a real second shot in the WWE main roster, and I don't know if he's ever going to get that. But 100%, he is super underrated, and they need to utilize him more going forward. And that is all of the hot takes for today's video. I am going to be posting another one in the next 2 to 3 days, as I got over 45 to 50 hot takes, and for a guy that only has 88 subscribers, that is huge for me. So I just want to say thank you guys, and I will be posting every single hot take that I get, so just stay tuned. And thank you guys for watching this video, and see you in the next one.